As always, it is so great to have you here. I hope you're staying safe and healthy out there and feeling fabulous at the same time. Anyways, it is finally Friday, and today we've got an amazing recipe to kick off the weekend. We're talking creamy Spanish butter beans, which are also known as lima beans. Now this is another one of those recipes that truly hits on all cylinders, as it's made with the most basic pantry staples, yet it's got the most incredible depth of flavors, and it's super easy to make. You know folks, in the times we're living in right now, where prices are skyrocketing on everything, this is the kind of food we should all be eating. It's inexpensive, very healthy for you, and it's gonna fill your body with so much goodness. Let's begin by measuring out 1 cup of dried butter beans, which is about 180 grams, and adding them into a sieve. Now to make this recipe, you can also take the shortcut and use canned butter beans, but by using the dried ones, it really takes this dish to the next level of goodness. Then we'll rinse the beans under some cold running water, making sure to remove any debris that you find in there or any broken beans. Then we'll add in the rinsed beans into a large bowl and fill it with some cold water. I'm going to add in about 4 cups, which is 1 liter, and we're going to let this sit here overnight or between 8 to 12 hours. After soaking our butter beans for about 12 hours, I'm going to drain them back into the sieve. And we'll give them one last rinse under some cold running water and then set them aside. For the next step, let's start cooking our dish. I'm going to grab a stock pot, heat it with a medium heat, and we'll add in about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, which is 30 milliliters. Now to make this recipe, I'm using an olive oil from Apollo. This is their Miller's Favorite organic extra virgin olive oil. It truly gives this dish that incredible depth of flavors. You'll find a link where you can get some in the description box below. Now the vegetables I'm going to use in this recipe are the typical ones that are used here in Spain, but as always you can use whatever vegetables you like or whatever you have on hand. Either way, I like to finely chop the vegetables, that way they don't overpower the dish, and those butter beans are the star of the show. After heating the olive oil for a couple minutes, I'm going to add in 1 small onion that I finely diced, 1 carrot that's been peeled and finely chopped, 1 green bell pepper that's been finely chopped as well, and 4 cloves of garlic that have been roughly chopped. And we'll mix the vegetables around, that way they're all coated in that olive oil, and as you know, I always like to mix this continuously, that way the veggies don't brown too quickly and they all evenly saute. After about 3 minutes, and the onions are nice and translucent, and the rest of the vegetables lightly sauteed, I'm going to add in the butter beans, and half a teaspoon of dried thyme, which is a little over half a gram. And we'll give this a quick mix, that way everything's evenly mixed together. And as you can see, we didn't season with any sea salt. When you're working with dried beans, you want to season them at the end when they're fully cooked through. If you season them beforehand, they're going to have a tough texture to them. Once everything is well mixed, I'm going to add in 5 cups of cold water, which is about 1200 milliliters. Now to make this recipe, you can also use vegetable broth or even chicken broth. I just prefer to use the water, that way it doesn't overpower the dish. And we'll also add in 1 bay leaf. Then we'll turn up the heat to a high heat, and we'll give it a mix and bring the water to a boil. Once the water comes to a boil, I'm going to place the lid on the pan, and we'll lower the fire to a low-medium heat. And we're going to simmer this on a low-medium heat until those butter beans are fully cooked through and they have a beautiful creamy texture on the inside, which is about 1.5 hours in my case. So make sure to check the packet instructions in the butter beans that you're using, that way you perfectly cook them through. After simmering our beans for about 1.5 hours, they should be perfectly cooked through with a beautiful creamy texture on the inside. I'm going to remove the lid from the pan. And as you can see, the majority of the water has been absorbed by the beans, which means they should be perfectly cooked through. You know, if you want this dish to have a little bit more liquid, you just add in another cup of cold water. And you know, you can always tell when your beans are perfectly cooked through. You just pierce them with a toothpick, and if it easily goes in, they're ready to go. If yours are still a little tough, you just add in a bit more water, place the lid, and simmer for a couple more minutes or until they're done. For the last step, I'm going to season the beans with sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll give this a gentle mix. That way those seasonings are evenly spread out, and also remember to be gentle here, otherwise you can easily break those butter beans apart. Then I'm going to remove the pan from the heat, transfer some of the butter beans into a shallow bowl, and we'll sprinkle it with some finely chopped fresh parsley. Check it out, our creamy Spanish butter beans are done. Such a beautiful bean dish, easy to make, made with very affordable ingredients, and the aromas coming out of it are mind-blowing good. Let's give this a try and see how it turned out. Now this is a plate of some serious goodness. This one I cannot wait to try. Here we go. So many great flavors. But the beauty here is the texture of those butter beans. They're so nice and creamy inside. They just melt in your mouth, folks. You saw this. A very simple recipe using basic pantry staples, affordable ingredients, and super easy to make. Like I told you at the beginning, the kind of dish we should all be eating right now or any time of the year, as it's going to fill your body with so much goodness. Really quick before I go, shout out to a couple of my patrons, Alan Sanchez, Jay Edwards, Kevin Moran, Richard Esby, Lisa Larea, and Edward Alvarez. And guys, thank you so much for being patrons of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. For the rest of you, if you're not with me on Patreon and you'd like to support the show, you'll find my Patreon link in the description box below and iCard above. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and don't forget to share this video with your family and friends. That way our Spain on a Fork community can continue to grow and create beautiful recipes like the one we've made today. Till the next time, hasta luego. Incredible episode. The dish is just, I'm just kind of speechless. Again, the most basic ingredient, and you create something like this. That texture on the inside, that creaminess is so good. It's addicting. Give this a try, you're gonna love it. See you in the next video.